I don't think people really see the fact that people with disabilities have sexual desires.
I have a sex swing.
That's amazing.
Although I don't want to die, I wouldn't necessarily mind it because at least I could reincarnate as XQC's dad and whip him for not doing media share even though you promised any pumpers in chat. XQC.
This will be interesting.
I don't necessarily think that it's a bad word and that it's something we shouldn't use, but I also don't think it should be the only word that defines us either.
I understand like disabled like means not able to, and like I feel like I'm able to do most things that an able person can do. I just have to do them differently. I think it's a better word than words that have been used to describe me. I hate the word special. I think it's so demeaning, and like I was called it my childhood, you know, like special ed.
I did, guys. I kind of agree with that, dude. Guys, I'm not like disabled, dude, so I don't really have a say, dude. When somebody says it, you're special, I just want to say, fuck you, dude. Fuck you, dude. Like, that's such dumb shit.
And so then disabled, I feel like, is a more mature version that doesn't hold that connotation for me.
This country provides enough resources for the disabled.
Hey, never, probably not, right?
Are we all? Oh, okay.
Healthcare, from my point of view, is not made for people who have chronic disabilities, chronic diseases. Even if you have medical coverage, you're still paying a portion of those bills. It's a cycle that you put yourself in debt so that you can't get a proper apartment or get a house. For the people who they count it as SSI, so it's low income Social Security, they think that you should be able to live off of like $900 a month.
There's also a thing with it. You can't have more than 2,000.
Chat. This again. Dude, this again.
Dollars in your account for checking and savings, and as soon as you hit a cent over it, you lose your Social Security because they think you're making too much.
So
it's the same girl.
I have a chronic illness called idiopathic hypersomnia, which is a sleep disorder. From the onset of symptoms, it took 8 years to even get sent to a sleep doctor. And not to mention the education system. I'm so lucky that I have an IEP. I couldn't imagine what school would be like if I didn't, but even with that, getting the accommodations of like my teachers trying to understand that I only come to school 3 out of 5 days a week, and that I can't do busy work because I'll fall asleep, quite literally. I legally have these rights to not do certain work, and sometimes teachers just don't understand that, and it's so hard trying to argue with them so that I can just be a normal student.
Wait, what if you're jacked on the ad you did, right? And it, BOW, dude, you know?
3, 2, 1.
Thanks.
A lot of people have been so understanding and accommodating and like, oh.
Wait, what did it say?
A lot of people have been so understanding and accommodating and like, oh, like, you know, I heard about that from this TV show, or like, is it like this? Or like, you know, asking questions. And I think people are genuinely curious. There are people that I educate and are still ignorant and totally meanie pants. That's why I'm not in strongly disagree, because there's always going to be haters, you know, but I think people are good.
So for me, I would agree, but I would come from like a place of understanding, because I feel like even people with disabilities don't understand other people with disabilities as well, because I feel like, you know, you could have the same kind of disability, the same type, but the way it affects you could be very different. I have a disease called muscular dystrophy, and that is a wide spectrum, and so you can't really understand it because some people, their muscles get weaker quicker.
Don't say fat, dude.
I have spina bifida, and the type I have is lipomyelomeningocele. My dad served in the Vietnam War, and a chemical called Agent Orange he came in contact with and that chemical caused my spina bifida. When you learn about spina bifida, most people think that they're wheelchair users, and it's also because the Spina Bifida Association, they only show one narrative of it, which is an issue in general across the disability spectrum. I have a channel where I educate about disability as a whole, and even people who are trying to learn still want to argue with a disabled person when we're teaching them.
Ooh, probably not everybody, right? Somewhat agree.
I use a cane on and off. When I do have my cane, I like that people offer me help when I'm riding the metro or the bus, but then it's the extra comments that they think they're doing like a great deed, that they're gonna win a Nobel Peace Prize, and they'll start infantilizing me. Oh, you're so cute and tiny, and you're too young to be sick. I just don't like the extra comments.
Chat, dude, guys, I said that yesterday. Guys, listen, yesterday we were blind. Why? Because you watched a video, okay, where she was in it, the girl at the back, right? But she wasn't come as a disabled person, right? And she was doing this the whole time. Right?
Like, I don't
the
need
wind
like
thing.
that. Sometimes
Why?
I have to cancel events, and
The wind.
my good friends understand that. And I feel like there's a difference between accommodation and patronizing.
I remember before I had my accident, I probably was one of those people that we were talking about when someone is overly enthusiastic about it, or even sometimes unintentionally patronizing. I try, in my experiences, to instead educate them that I know I'm in a chair and I know that I look like I have a lot of issues, but trust me, I've been out here thugging it out for a while now. If I need help, I'm not ashamed to ask for it.
I've had strangers like come up behind me and just start pushing me, even though I don't
Okay, well, that's
necessarily
weird
need
though.
help with that. If you're somebody that I know and you see that I'm struggling, then you can go ahead and probably help me wheel. But if you don't know me at all, please don't come up behind me and start trying to push me out of nowhere.
It also puts us at risk of injury. I have nerve damage in my feet, so I look down a lot when I walk because it helps me keep my balance. And then I've had people see that I'm like trying to get through, and they'll grab my arm to guide me, and I almost always fall because I'm already so in my zone. So like, just don't touch people because you can injure them.
We all in agreement.
So for me, it's difficult on various levels. I started having seizures when I was 18. I became sick when I was about 16. So I never got a license. I never got a car. So that impairs my ability to even go find suitors.
Wait, I don't understand. Guys, what is your disability? Did you say it?
Get out of my house much. And then being on Social Security, you get paid hardly anything. So I can't even afford to really go out and do a whole lot. And then on top of that, trying to explain to a man that, oh yeah, you know, just to let you know, I'm a full package. It's going to have a huge effect on our relationship, on our ability to go out, on our sex life, on everything.
I came over here because after listening to you, there's so many things that I totally resonate with, but then there's so many odd benefits that I think that comes with dating and having a disability. I got
I know it's not funny, it's a chat, dude.
When I was 14 years old. That left me quadriplegic. I never got to experience being, you know, a teenager, being wild, dating, and all of those things. The people who have been in my life, we really had to get to know each other on a deeper level first before any other physical aspects were a part of it. Anybody, disabled or able-bodied, all we want is someone who truly loves us for us, and this is me.
I'm right here because dating is not really in my focus right now, but I could see how hard it could be because, you know, I may not be able to live long, but then at the same time, I think it could also be a good thing because I think true love is when you really understand each other.
I kind of agree with that if I'm looking at my most recent relationship, my partner, he was really great. Like, he took the time to
Okay,
understand
guys,
my
I'm gonna say it triggers me, dude. Okay, I'll say it. I said the other day, I'll say it again, dude. The fan is scientifically proven to be energy-wise not efficient. It is stupid. Stop doing it. I'm not kidding. You waste more energy doing it that you're benefiting from it. It is respectable that... Oh, I fucking popped off, dude. Okay? It is respectable to do it. It's fine. Right? But if you're... Dude, I don't know, dude. Buy one of those plastic... Dude, why not?
Stability. What made it difficult at times was when I was having a lot of kidney issues and I wasn't getting the greatest news from my doctors, and so I would be sobbing, and he just had this need that he wanted to help, and I just told him, like, I don't need anything physically from you. I just need you to just sit with me. Ever since we broke up and I've started getting back out and dating, I will get people that will ghost me because of looking able passing on like dating websites. They don't know right away, and I don't share it right away because I'd rather have a person conversation about it. I also hate the invasive questions that come with dating. I've been asked so many times, can you even have sex?
Or the men who fetishize it. Oh, I've had a guy ask me to bring the cane into the bedroom. Just insane, ridiculous things.
I've had guys literally say they want to check it off on
Guys, did she have the cane in the other video?
their bucket list to sleep with a girl in a chair, or yeah, the invasive questions that come straight off the bat. I don't think people really see the fact that people with disabilities have sexual desires.
I have a sex swing.
That's amazing.
It's the most accessible thing for me, and it's great. Like,
I have felt like a bird.
Okay, chat, it's a really long video. I think I'm gonna skip it.
2, 1.
When it comes to my parents, a lot of the time, because I'm paraplegic, I was in a car accident when I was 11. Wheelchair accessible vehicles are very, very expensive, so it's my parents or my brother that often have to take me from place to place. I know a lot of the time they don't mind, and my mind just takes it to that place.
Can we all just appreciate XQC for streaming every day and not get tired of us? Chat XQCL.
Oh, get tired, dude. I'm kidding.
I do a lot of the time feel like a burden in that way.
I already know it's probably gonna break my mom's heart when she watches this, but before I could even figure out the words, felt like a burden to my parents because they took out so many loans before the VA finally agreed to cover me, and they didn't agree until I stopped having back surgeries. I still feel like I'm a burden, and I'm a result of why most of my family's in poverty. And part of that is kind of the reason I moved all the way to Los Angeles. My family's on the East Coast, and I figured if I'm not near them, they can't take care of me, so they're free to live however they want to live. I've had friends who have just left me because they didn't want to accommodate, and I try to work on that of like, no, I'm not a burden, but it's hard sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's unlike you did.
I'm literally over here. It's just hard with her sitting. I know that
I can't chat. I can't watch the whole thing.
Be here without my mom. She's a single parent, and she has sacrificed everything for me. She has sacrificed her well-being, her mental health. I don't think that I tell her often enough how much I appreciate her. But listening to you, I've lost friends because I was too much of a burden. I was too much of a hassle. I always feel like a burden, but I can't stand on that line simply because the people who love me would hate that I feel this way
because I know that in their hearts I'm not a burden to them. But I would give anything to be able to make my life not affect others that I love negatively the way that it has.
Because it's the guilt that we feel with it, because it's like, my dad is like a very...
Chat, how am I supposed to watch something that is sad when the whole chat is tagging me with funny shit and dog shit and edgy shit? What am I supposed to do? Chat, what am I supposed to do? People are tagging me, people in chat are saying, you're looking at the fan, aren't you? Weird champ. I think it looks
very stereotypical Puerto Rican man. He does not show emotions, but I remember when I'd be screaming in the hospital, him fighting back tears because I know he blames himself because of his military service. And I feel just guilty, like if I didn't exist, or if just like my parents were pregnant before me and they lost that child. If that baby had stayed, my dad wouldn't feel so much pain about something he can't control about my life. And I hate that I can't make their lives easier.
It's the feeling of that.
Chat, she has fan earrings, okay? It's why I was laughing at chat said fan earrings.
It's out of control how you're making others feel, because like usually, you know, if you're nice, that person's gonna feel good. This is something that we just are, and like, it's hard enough to accept ourselves, and like asking somebody else to accept us is hard.
Oh my God. Can I give you love? Yeah. Like, oh.
I would change my disability.
Okay, chat, this is just gonna said it. I'm gonna skip it, chat. I'm sorry, dude. Chat, it's unfair, dude. I wanna skip at the same time, I wanna laugh. And it's like, dude, I woke up in a kind of a good mood, dude. I'm laughing, and people in chat are making me laugh, dude. Sorry, chat, I can't do it. It makes me look bad, dude. I have to say it. It makes me look terrible. Jesus.
This is just a fucked up fanfic.
What?
Ghostim is genetic, that's how you got
5 minutes? Okay, we can finish it, dude. Okay, relax.
I don't think people really see her.
Because it has taught me many life lessons, and
it's a good video. It's really good, but dude, you know?
When I was younger, I used to get stared at a lot, and so, you know, that would really affect me. But because I experienced that, you know, I now have the strength to realize that how others are looking at me doesn't matter.
Watch this.
Given me a lot
This
of
scared me when I was a kid.
Get out of their dark times, because if I never experienced depression, you know, I would not be able to help people with depression.
For me, I don't have a before. Being disabled's the only thing I've ever known. The word itself comes with a lot of community. It comes with a history that I'm so proud to be a part of, that I couldn't see myself living any other way. And like, I know people will say, well, there are more things about you than just your disability. And that's true for everyone. There are other things about me, but everything I do as a disabled person. And for me, that's the most empowering thing. I would change maybe, like, I wish I could feel my feet again. That would be great.
That's unlucky, dude.
But I really wouldn't change much, because it's given me such a community that I don't think I would have had.
Even though I know that I've had an impact on people and I can relate to people in a way that I probably couldn't have before, I'm in pain every second of every day. I would give almost anything to not have that anymore. I got sick young, but I don't remember what it's like not to be in pain every day. I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
I have lived both experiences, and similar to you, I also am in pain almost every single day. If I were to be able to take and swallow a pill tomorrow that would make me better, I would still be able to take all of the lessons and experiences that I've been able to garner from this accident and continue to build off it and do better things. But I think I would be really lying to myself to say that I wouldn't change it, because I went from being someone who literally was as athletic as you could ever be, flying high and doing things with my body, and I feel very privileged to have lived that, and I know what that feels like, and I miss it every single day.
Damn. Too real, man. Damn, this guy's real. I like this guy.
Not because
this guy's cool.
I don't love my life or anything like that. I can't say I'm fulfilled until, you know,
it's realistic.
I impact more people. I'm working to be a motivational speaker, and so I have a lot more to accomplish.
Again, going back to the last question, if I could change everything, of course, but I think that my life and my example is starting to help people in many different facets, and I think part of being a good human is trying to help as many people in your life, and I think I'm starting to do that.
It was so nice meeting you guys.
We all have to stay in touch. You guys are amazing.
Chat.
Hello, good humans. Thank you for sticking around to the end.
It's one of those things that, like, guys, can you not see how bad it makes me look, dude? Like, what I was talking about is only the fan because of yesterday, when she was not in the disabled video. She was not. There's no way I could have known she didn't have a cane, and the fan was funny to me. And now today, we're doing this, and everybody's just trolling me with the cane, with the fan thing. What am I supposed to do, dude? Of course it's funny. Of course it makes me giggle, dude. What am I gonna do about it?